Imagine a future without obsolescence, a world where you don't have to throw away a perfectly good device just because the battery died. Because products are designed to be easily repaired and not deliberately short-lived. A future where clean energy exists for everyone, everywhere. Where the air is free of industrial odor, and the only sound on the road is the effortless glide of an electric vehicle. Where science and magic of all this electric future isn't rooted in shortcomings and subsidies, but in a paradigm that cares for the collective well-being of our planet. That's what we're talking about today on Environmental with Dandelion. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Ob, your host and the chief cultivator behind Dandelion Branding. Our mission is to make noise for purpose-driven brands and to bring sustainability into mainstream conversations. We do that by telling sustainability stories you might have missed on this podcast, and we help climate-conscious brands tell their sustainability stories better every single day. As today's topic is about the energy transition, head down to the comments and tell me about your dream of what an all-electric future looks like. Now, my guest today is an absolute champion of right to repair, Raouf Remidan, the CEO of CTRL Energy. This is a company that is heading up not only the shift to an all-electric planet, but an obsolescence-proof all-electric planet. Thank you so much for joining me, Raouf. Could you please start us off right away by sharing the number one thing you think everyone should know about energy storage and clean energy?
Sure. Well, first, thanks for having me, and you perfectly summarized everything. I will claim the rights of your introduction to use it as an infomercial. But
oh my God, I would love to make an infomercial for clean energy. That would be so much fun.
So the number one thing, I would love that people realize two things. First, that batteries decay over time, and that's physics. We can't do anything about it. But we don't have to throw away a completely full and valid battery because the lithium that is inside the cells decayed. Especially if you knew on the other side that these batteries that you throw away, whether it's like your cell phone, your, single-use batteries, whatever, end up in the landfill, and less than 5% are recycled.
Okay, but is that because battery recycling is really hard?
It's not the hard part of it, but rather the financial viability of it. Small batteries are too time-consuming to be financially viable. So even if they are collected, you see, for example, the boxes in the supermarket when you can put your old batteries, etc., to be recycled. So even if they are collected, 60 to 70% to these collected batteries to be recycled and end up being burnt because they are too time-consuming for the recycling company to make money out of them.
Okay, but money aside, because that's always going to be a thing. Isn't that dangerous to burn a battery?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. It emits very dangerous gases when you burn them. It's done in a controlled environment, but still it's pollution. And the sad part of it, they are too complex and time-consuming to be recycled because of the way they are built. Imagine everything is encapsulated inside plastic, everything is soldered together. So when it comes time to separate the different elements, so the plastic from the electronics, from the lithium, it takes too much time.
So what do you think the solution is there? I guess you have the solution. CTRL Energy has the solution.
Exactly. So we spent with my co-founder like more than 10 years in the industry. So working with the big names in the industry. And, we try to push new ideas, new solutions to overcome these difficulties. But well, the market is what it is. It's a legacy business, very hard to move on. So we decided to start our own company in 2022, which is CTRL Energy, with one simple idea. Like inside the battery, you have lithium cells that decay over time. Only these lithium cells need to be replaced and not the full battery. not the plastic casing, not the electronics, etc. And to add, to spice up things, we designed special battery management system that can detect which cell is dead inside the battery. So you can replace only these ones. And when you send them to the recycling company, well, we take care of this part. We collect them and send them to the recycling companies. Well, for them, this is the dream job. You send them only lithium cells that can be fully recycled. So what we advocate is, on one side, stop buying new batteries, but replace only the depleted cells for a fraction of the price. So it's good for your money, but the collateral effect would be being good on the planet, because we can ensure like 100% collection of these cells and 100% recycling.
So how does it work? Like, I would buy your specific battery brand, and then when it goes bad, I ship them back to you, or then you say this needs to be replaced. Like, could I replace the battery? Is this like I can pull things out and replace them?
Yes.
Whoa, man. What? That's so cool. Wait.
And you even have a software telling you which cell you need to replace.
I think that's a game changer. That's so cool.
Yes.
Okay, so we can repair our batteries. We can repair the lithium, or like not repair the lithium, but repair the cells, basically. And then the secondary piece of that is, because we're not sending like a whole ass plastic battery back, we're only sending the like lithium cell you're sending that to the recycling. So I would then send my bad lithium cells back to you, and you would make sure that they were recycled.
Yes.
Cool.
And we reward you for your action. So every time we get depleted cells from our customers, we give them 10% on either second life cells or brand new cells.
Okay. So you also refurbish cells.
Exactly.
Okay. How are they not so big though? So is this for large batteries or regular size batteries? This feels like if I was going to replace a battery, it would be too small, or that it would feel like I needed to solder something. Like, what is different there?
Well, our initial use case with our battery technology, Lipo, is to be like what we call stationary storage, meaning like supplying clean energy to homes, offices, etc., that are connected to either like solar panels or to the grid.
Okay.
So that's our first use case. We designed these batteries to remove all the friction. So they imagine like big Lego blocks that you can assemble according to your need. So you are not stuck with the one size fit all, which never fits, but you would rather, tell us what's your consumption. You have a number of modules, you can buy them, install them, and you're ready to go. And you can make sure that it will supply the right amount of energy, but you can scale over time by adding modules for a fraction of the price.
Okay.
And it's plug and play. So you can add them, remove them, fully safe. We really worked on the, I would say, user experience, because batteries are very intimidating. When you are not from the energy sector and you know that it's electricity, you are scared by nature.
Like, is this going to be lightning in my body? I am afraid.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's for like big house batteries, but like you're not talking about like these batteries. No. Okay, got it.
For these batteries, well, it's an announcement here, but we are starting like an open source initiative to replace these batteries. Have you seen these like awful vape pen pens with disposable battery inside?
Yeah.
They are they are all disposable. So what we found, like a bunch of them, opened them so that inside there is like a fully valid lithium battery. And we started to investigate like these kind of things. You have like, for example, disposable electric toothbrushes that have also lithium batteries inside, and all these like small gadgets with batteries. Yeah. We can recover the battery that is inside and turn it into a little battery, like a little AA battery that you can put in your remote control, etc. We don't plan to sell this, but rather like disclose all the electronic, etc., in open source and let people like print them and use them.
Whoa, man. So how would they get the lithium to be able to print them?
Oh, so the printing part is the plastic part. So so the printing part, you need a 3D printer, just like the ones we have in our microfactory. But to get the lithium part, I got them because I had vape shop next door, and I went there and I asked them, hey, can you collect these for me, put them in a bag? And I come from time to time. And then what I did, the next step, I 3D printed the little bucket with a nice logo inside, and I gave it to the shop and told him, every time you have a client come in from a new one, ask them to throw the old one here.
Okay. And then you collected their batteries, and then you just 3D printed the casing for a AA battery, and then you put the vape pen lithium battery inside of that.
Yes, with a small
Wow.
electronic circuit that we designed, and it's you can charge it with USB-C, use it in your remote control, etc., and you turn your mouse, remote control, whatever, into something that you can recharge with USB-C.
Right. So you're basically open source making rechargeable small batteries.
Exactly. It's not our core business. We stumbled upon this. We found it
Yeah.
cool. We said, hey, let's disclose everything and let people use it if they think it's valuable.
Wow. Okay. Man, we have some really cool guests on environmental. Now it is time for my absolute favorite question. But before I ask it, I just want to remind everyone out there that we're living in a time when the algorithms and the powers that be devalue conversations around sustainability and these topics. I think Raouf just saved a ton of money for people on batteries, and that's kind of anti in the establishment that we live in today. But we refuse to fall prey to the green hush. So we need your help to make sure that these stories get told and get out there. And you know what? It is really easy to do. Just go ahead and like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and share this podcast with all of your eco-curious friends. Now, Raouf, in just a couple sentences, what is CTRL Energy's role in the transition to a more sustainable future?
Our role is to make sure, that no battery end up in the landfill, and 100% of our batteries are collected and recycled. B, change this, change the paradigm of the batteries reality that are mass produced, stored like bricks in warehouses, and then shipped over time, etc. Ours, we print them in 3D on demand in micro factories to limit the footprint and to limit labor. So rather than making them in a low cost area and then ship them in containers, we designed the micro factory that can be as close as possible to the end users.
Wow, that's incredible. So you said something really interesting that I didn't know about before, which is that batteries are made in huge amounts and then stored.
Yes.
But doesn't that impact the viability of the battery itself, because it's just sitting there in storage?
Completely. But the existing manufacturers need to reach a critical mass, so they lower the cost by producing a lot, and maybe globally, I would say 6 to 7 out of 10 existing brands are manufactured by the same factories that are huge. So they limit this kind of shelf life and ensure that their stock is always moving, but still it's here, it's consuming raw materials, rejecting dangerous gases, because the worst thing you can do for a battery is to not use it.
Yeah.
And so we try to switch this reality by printing on demand, and our microfactory can build Lipo batteries, but we also have a full range of products. Let me show you something here. This is so this is our new little battery. It's named Zero. So Zero follows the same logic as the Lipo. So you can easily open it, change the cells inside, but it's made of recycled plastic, fully recycled plastic, and it's scalable. So for example, let's say you need more USB outputs, you just add them. Why should you buy a new battery, etc., etc.? So it can scale as you go.
Did you just add that with a magnet?
Yes, you have magnets on both sides, and you can add more output. You can stick two together. You can add a tripod, flashlight, etc. This is not our core business, but we want to make, let's say, this is our awareness product. We want to put it in as many hands as possible to really raise awareness that your batteries can be reused and you don't need to throw them.
And you can use this as a power bank, or it seems like it could be also as like a power hub, right?
Exactly.
So if it's plugged in somewhere, like we have power hubs in our house and our power hubs are movable, right? So like this would be really cool in that like it's a power hub and then we can just unplug it and take it with us when we go traveling. And now it's a power bank, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
And, we designed this to be, let's say, flight friendly. So basically you can connect three together to turn it into a power hub of almost 300 watt per hour. And then you can split them, have three power banks, put them in your hand luggage, pass the security check, go somewhere else. So for example, in my last holidays, I've been like hiking and I did this. I took three with me in my backpack, passed the security normally, recombined them at arrival, and it's a little power hub. And with one you can charge your phone 15 times. So yeah, the three of them last you like 3, 4, 5 days off grid.
Amazing. That's so cool. I know it's not your core business, but it does feel like it's the more accessible option, like because everybody needs a power bank nowadays, right? Like on Fridays, I'm a landscaper, and so I'm on site somewhere, and like I'm a side quest baddie, and sometimes those side quests leave me to just not charge my phone at night, right? So then now I don't have a charged phone. I'm off site at a landscape job and I can't take photos. So I need to carry a power bank with me. Even just one day a week, it's like that. And I think everybody has these stories. It's not just about their travel or like, I have a long commute in the morning and it'd be great to have a power bank, like these kinds of things. Everybody needs one. So it feels like this is a very accessible option. And then you could just replace the cells in them after, how long does it last? Like at what point would you need to actually replace the cell in it?
Well, I would say between like 3 to 8 years, depending on how you charge and discharge the battery.
Yeah, okay.
But every time you replace the cells versus replacing the battery, you save 75% on the price.
Wow. This is like every time.
Yes.
Is that 75% on the price of your power bank or on the price of like any power bank, I guess?
Any power bank.
So because I guess the next question I think I have, which is probably a question you get a lot, is like all very cool. What's the cost for something like this?
Well, the cost of our battery or any battery of this size is, let's say, around 100 euros. Normally, you would buy one, use it for like 3 years because they are somehow cheaply made. And after 3 years, you are left with one option, buy a new one. In our case, you have a little QR code inside, you snap it, you can order 6 new cells, get them delivered, return the old ones, get 10% in like as a voucher, and the 6 will cost you around like 20 euros.
Damn. That's amazing. You're saving people money and you're saving the environment for more. There's a circular aspect to this whole situation. Wow. This is actually like, thank you so much for this work that you're doing and the energy and time that you're putting into building this is incredible.
And like the secret behind it, it's
almost secret.
Yes, why we went through this road, etc., because we've noticed that when you use sustainability as a sales argument, it's not working. When you ask people like, hey, buy my product because it's green, because it's sustainable, because it's doing good for the planet. Okay, why? And I can't blame people because I'm the first one thinking like, why should I pay a premium because it's sustainable? Why are you like, you want me to buy an EV? Okay, fair enough. But why am I paying the EV twice the price of a diesel car? So we took the other, we thought like, no, people should see like the financial incentive upfront and make like the sustainability part in our DNA. It's by design. You cannot pollute with this battery, but you are saving money.
Yeah. Listen, this is good business, folks. If you tune in on Marketing Mondays where I do marketing lives, this is a big point that I make all the time, which is sustainability for most consumers actually comes second. You have to be competitive in all the other things that you're doing, and CTRL Energy is nailing it. Like, you're making it easy for people to make the choice to choose your batteries. And like, if you're offering house batteries, which we didn't even cover yet, but since you're offering house batteries to like attach to my solar panels, that's not even something I can find for a good price on the market right now in general. So do you want to talk a little bit about how that works? Like, do I just hook it up to my solar? Can I just like, like call my husband and ask him to hook it up to my solar panel?
It's really as easy as plugging your TV or your microwave to your electric socket. So you have
Amazing.
your solar panels like are providing energy. We made it like really plug and play. And the beauty of it, we don't force you to take like a minimum quantity. If you would like to experiment and would like to start with, let's say, you have less than €1,000 investment and you can't afford like a Tesla Powerwall and these fancy products, you can start small, see the impact on your energy bill, see the impact on your energy consumption, and then scale as you go. So that's
right, because it's modular.
Exactly. Our system, can be charged with solar panels, but in Europe right now, it can connect to your smart electricity meter and charge during off-peak hours, discharge on on-peak hours, which so you will save around like 30% in the process on your energy bill. But that's also good for the collectivity and the grid, because on peak hours, meaning the demand is high. So if you can not consume the grid electricity when the demand is high and consume your batteries electricity, you will like relieve the grid somehow and put less pressure on the grid, leading to less blackouts, less malfunctions, etc.
Man, that's helpful. That's really helpful. I think especially in places, I mean, in Europe, I think the grid is pretty stable from the experiences I've had, but I've definitely lived in places like in the US where the grid isn't always as stable, or there's too many people connected to it and you have brownouts or blackouts. I feel like something like this could be really, really helpful. I also think that something like this could piss off electric companies, energy companies, because
Yes,
like,
that's why. Well, energy companies, we were afraid of that, but we reach out to them upfront to see, okay, are they going to fight back or see us as like the arch nemesis of utilities?
you actually asked them?
Yeah, we asked them like straight away, and the reality is that grid companies and utilities make money on peak and off peak hours. So when they charge you a lower price, they are buying electricity in bulk at a lower price. So they make money anyway. But the grid management company sees a lot of benefits in these batteries because the grid management company is in charge of the maintenance. So if there is less load on the grid, there's less maintenance required. So they would love to see this at scale installed everywhere, etc.
That's fascinating. I would have assumed that they wouldn't love it because people can have better control over their own energy consumption during whatever time of day fits them.
Yeah.
But I guess if the maintenance companies are actually saving more money than it's costing them in the long run, I think you got it figured out.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you think, I guess, is that a common misconception in your industry? Would you say that was the biggest misconception you were dealing with?
The biggest misconception, I would say, that it's not from the industry specialists, but rather from the general public and especially investors.
Okay.
They often think that industry is too complex and too expensive to be developed in Europe. And this is like a recurring theme. Like every time we talk to a new a new investor or even like a new partner, I would think like, oh, but you manufacture them in China, And we say no. So they think, oh, so the price is super high. No, the price is not high because we leverage 3D printing, automation, and like Industry 4.0 to bring the micro factoring at the same price point as gigafactories abroad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Microfactoring. Ooh, I like that word. Okay, right. So I think I also had that feeling. It's when you're saying you're kind of doing this in small batches and it's happening in your microfactory and it's happening in Europe and I know you're in Paris. So yeah, I guess I did think, oh, this must be expensive, which I did ask about cost. So that was also my own bias. Cool. That it's yeah, because it is very reasonable for what people are already paying. And then when they only replace the cells instead of the full battery, it's even cheaper. Oh my
Exactly.
God. Thank you again. Oh man, we interviewed such cool people on environmental Dandelion. I love this conversation. And I have a lot more questions. But I think my biggest question for you is how can people find you? How can they order the power banks if they're just getting started? That's mostly a question for myself. Yeah. How can we get a hold of you?
So people can find us like all over the internet. Our website is like controlctrl.energy. They can reach out to me through LinkedIn. I'll be happy to have discussions about energy, but even like beyond. Like if somebody is launching a hardware company, reaching out for like advice, etc. Like my LinkedIn is always open 24/7, and I make sure to reply within 24 to 48 hours. And regarding zero, so people can find us on go.nomorezero.com where they can pre-order. Yeah, they can pre-order their zero, they can pick up the color, etc. You see, like, well, for me, it's not like the innovation is way more important than the colors, but then like the number one thing that people get is like, whoa, it means like I can have it in purple or yellow or whatever. And I say yes. So that's the number one, argument for, like, for making the decision. And otherwise, on our social media, we are running an experiment right now. So we are posting one video per day about the making of zero. So we started the countdown
Ooh,
at 100 days. And yesterday was the day 100. Today, the day 99 day, we cover a different aspect of it. So
brilliant.
they can find it on our YouTube channel or on Instagram.
Really brilliant. And I will absolutely put your YouTube channel in a card here, and I will drop all of this information into our show notes and yeah, the description and all the places you can find it. We'll make
Thank
sure
you.
you're findable. That's what we're doing here. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna watch them. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for what you're doing, Raouf. I think that I'm
Thank
just
you.
gonna say it over and over again. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the work you're doing, and I appreciate that you're putting so much thought into the consumer project as much as you are into the sustainability and circularity of the project to make it easy for people to choose control energy.
Exactly.
So, thank you. And thank you everyone for sticking around. We will see you next time. Bye.